Hello again and welcome to my hobby table for part 3. Technically speaking it's part 3, but there's actually been 4 parts to this Magnum XL61RFS refurbishment series. The third part, which was just a Boca bearing video, so it wasn't really a part of this series, but it did pertain to this engine. So I'm just going to call this part 3 in this video series. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be dropping these valves out and cleaning them, or showing the methods I use to clean valve stems and the bottoms of these things. I will not be lapping valves because I don't believe in lapping valves. I've never ever seen the real need to lap any valve. All I've ever seen the need to do is clean it. So I'm going to be using this tool once again that was given to me by a very awesome man, Bill. So I'm going to set this in here, get my other camera turned on, and we're going to go ahead and get these valves taken out. Now the tools I'll be using to actually clean the valves is a piece of, what is this, 400 grit paper, a razor blade, and maybe a little bit of oil, and that's it. So with that said, let me turn my other camera on, zoom in on this so you can try to see as much as possible of this. So I did a video showing exactly how to use this tool once before, so you can go back and look that up, or maybe I can put a link to it. So basically all I'm doing here is, hopefully, maybe I had it this way. I think I had it this way. Let's do this valve first. So I'm just kind of depressing these springs. Now the thing with this is, these little legs here will rest right on the top of this, and that's fine. I can just easily slide this keeper off here. And maybe I'll just use my magnet at the same time, or put a magnet near it in case it wants to go flying off. It looks like that should be fully depressed. I would think that keeper would just want to come right out like that. So that one's out. I did not grab a little bag to put these things in, but hopefully that won't be necessary. So now I can just do that. Pull this valve out, move to the next one. This little tool is nice. I like to kind of use it on video, but I don't really, it's not absolutely a necessity for this task for me, because I've done this so many times. I don't really need a tool, but it does free up your hands. So there you have it. That's all there is to using this tool. And of course the same process will be employed to put the tool in. So let me shut this camera off now, and we'll get on to the cleaning of the valves. So here's my keeper for that one. The springs look okay. I got those two guys. So let me pull this valve out and see if they even really need that much cleaning. Okay. So intake valve. Let's see, which one was the smaller one? The exhaust valve is the smaller one. So here's the exhaust valve. This is the smaller one here. Now, this isn't really all that dirty, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the means I employ to clean these things up. And I think this is zoomed in as much as it can go. So if there was a whole bunch of carbon on the valve stem, basically what I do is I just use a razor blade, and I just would do something like this. Now I'm going straight down and up, kind of following the curvature of the metal. Now this one is got a little bit of a, it's not completely straight there. It's got a little bit of a cut in. So that would allow a lot more carbon to build up, but this is really not a very high time engine at all. So there's really nothing there. I mean, I'm not even getting much of anything on my razor blade. I've tried putting these things in ultrasonic cleaner with all kinds of things, and it just doesn't. You still are going to have to scrape this carbon off. Yes, that ultrasonic cleaner will loosen it, but I've never left them in for a week to see if it'll actually make that all come off. So it doesn't, and I don't have that kind of time to waste. So the only other part I would do is if there was a whole bunch of carbon on the bottom of this, which there is a tiny amount, I just do this. So this steel on the razor blade is so much softer than the hardened steel of these valves that I can't hurt it. Now if the lip or the sealing edge was in question of being really dirty, what I would do is this. And you can do that wet or dry, doesn't really matter. It's not like this little bit of fine cloth is going to be able to change the profile of that sealing area at all. It can't. It's not possible. Especially if you're not doing it for long. You're just doing this just enough to clean up the edge and get that little edge nice and shiny again. And that's really all there is to cleaning up valves. That's all I do to clean up valves. I may soak them in some, LAs or something first to loosen that stuff up, but like I said, with this one there's really nothing there, so it's more or less just an exercise in showing how I do this. Are there other ways to clean valves up? Of course. There's probably a ton of different ways that a person could do this, but I'm showing you what I've done for many years, and it's always worked for me. Never had an issue with it. And it's one of those things where, and I even can do this with it on the bottom. Just keep it nice and flat and clean that valve up just like that. And you notice there's no oil on this at all. There you go. This valve is nice and clean too. So that's all that I do when it comes to cleaning up valves of engines. Now, I had no idea that this was going to be so clean, but that's the methodology I would use. And now I'm just going to put these things back in. I'll probably square them off with some alcohol, wipe them down, put them back in there. But these valve seats look fine. And like I said, I don't lap valves. I've never seen a real need to do that. If you have to lap valves, then you probably neither need new head or new valve, maybe because something went wrong and is damaged. Can you possibly do a lap and make it work? Sure, you can do whatever the hell you want, but I don't do that, and I've never had a need, and I've been servicing engines for many, many years. So that concludes part 3 or part 4, or whatever I said this part was of this 61 RFS, XL61RFS 4-stroke engine refurbishment. Okay, I turned this little camera back on just for the heck of it. I'll show the installation of this exhaust valve real quick. And let's do this. Let's put our spring on there first, get our retainer on there. I know you can't see what I'm doing here. You're only going to be able to see what the actual action is here. I got to make sure I bring this down far enough so I can get on there. And you got to really make sure this keeper lines up and it start getting depressed evenly, which it's not in this case. And it'll tell you real quick if it's not. So there we go. That's fully depressed. Now I'm just going to slide this little keeper in here. And keeper's in. Now I'm just releasing pressure on it, and boom, that's all there is to it. That's as simple as this process is with this tool.